I'm Anastasia and welcome to my webinar. I'm so glad to see you all here today. Thank you so much for joining. And our webinar is called Gel Manicure that lasts 28 days or more. Let me know where are you watching from. I will be using a presentation so it will be more convenient for you because, I think sometimes it's more convenient to see the information when you can also see what I'm saying. So let me know if you are watching this for the first time. If you're first time here, if you are, please send 1 in the chat. But if you already know me for a long time, send plus. Okay, just a second. Okay. So can we please turn on the presentation because there's something for some. Okay, perfect. Hello from Bulgaria. Hello, Maritas. Going to watch on break. Wish I could work along with you. Okay. I'm doing webinars for quite a while now, but I'm always so excited to see newcomers as well as those who are watching me on a regular basis. Wow, we have so many newbies here. Awesome. Hello from Ontario. Plus, okay, and we have many people who already know me. North Dakota, South Africa, Germany, New York, UK, Puerto Rico. Hello, guys, and welcome to the webinar. Okay, so let's get right into it. Here's the information about the upcoming webinar. So approximate time is about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more, but I will really try to fit on the time frame because I know that we all have things to do, and I will try to give you all the valuable information within the time frame that we planned. Do not forget to ask questions and communicate in the chat, and especially for those who are joining me not for the first time, I would like to ask you if you could help someone out. Let's say in the middle of the webinar, someone's asking a question, but I already talked about this. If you could help out and reply to them, because sometimes I see so many comments, it's just not possible to physically reply to all of them, but with your help, I think it will be possible. I also recommend you to turn off distractions because we will be sharing some cool tips and tricks during this time. And replay the most popular question I get. Will there be a replay? Yes, it will be, but it will be available for a limited time. And also, since you're watching live, you will get some benefits, and I will share them in a few moments. Also, students who join my classes today, they also get lifetime access to the replay of this webinar. Okay, so this is the first giveaway that we will be doing today, and anyone can participate. So this one is for everyone. All you need to do is to take a picture during the webinar. You can do it now, you can do it a little later. It's up to you. And it can be a picture of your screen, a picture of yourself, like a screenshot, anything related to this webinar. Do not forget to tag me, Nailcou, and Nails Pro Academy. So you need to tag 2 accounts and add some text, like why would you recommend your friends to watch the webinar? So I'll just show you an example. I think it's easier when you can see what we expect you to do. So this is like an example of this kind of reposts during our previous webinars. Someone is taking a picture of themselves, someone just took a picture of the computer with the webinar. So you just need to do this, post it on your Instagram, and at the end of the webinar, I'll just open my account, see all this tags, like all the accounts that tagged me, and we'll just randomly pick the winner, and we will send you some gel polishes. So this is the first giveaway that will be today, and I will tell you about another one a little later. Meanwhile, we have people from all over the world here. Hello, San Diego, Romania, Israel, Italy. Wow, Palestine, England, in the industry for 4 years. Okay, so this webinar will be perfect for beginners and beauty school students. So let me know which category do you think is for you. So if you're a beginner or beauty school student, you can send 1 in the chat. If you're a nail enthusiast, which means you're not a nail technician yet, like you don't plan to be, or you plan in the future, but at this point you're just nails is your favorite hobby, you're just doing your own nails, send 2. If you're a licensed nail technician, then your number is 3. If you're an experienced nail technician, you have 2 years or more of experience. And also I decided to add an additional category because I see it from time to time. Nail technicians, but feeling burnt out. I've been there a few times throughout my career, so I'm very well aware of what it is. And I would like to see if we have some people like this here. And also maybe we have some nail educators or salon owners. Then number 6 is for you. Okay, we have many twos. Number 2, so nail enthusiasts, but we also have experienced nail technician and licensed nail technician. Hello, Colorado. Hello, Philippines. And beauty school students as well. Licensed for 13 years already, but always down to learn, Leanne. That's awesome. Okay, and we have a few number 4s as well. Okay, so if you definitely fall into any of these categories, I definitely can assure you that this webinar should be helpful for you. So this is today's program. We will quickly get to know each other. We already did a little bit. And then we will talk about products, about hard gel and soft gel, about builder gel and base coat, like which one should we use for overlay. Then I will also do a demo how to apply color close to the cuticle without flooding it. I recorded it in advance because we figured that when I'm doing some hands-on demo live, like right here, the quality of the video is not as good because it's streaming. So that's why I recorded in advance so you can see a closer look and give you some comments. I will also present my new online class, Gel Manicure 2.0, and also we will do another giveaway at the end for the students. So we have one on Instagram where anyone can participate, and then there will be one more. Hey, I'm a new fan and I love you. Thank you. Hello, Texas. Number 7, foot care nurse. Wow. So yeah, we maybe have some people who do not fall into this category, but if you're watching this webinar, maybe you can call yourself a nail enthusiast too. Okay. Let's continue. So since I noticed that we have so many people who are joining here for the first time and you don't know me yet, I will quickly introduce myself. I'm Anastasia Milton. I'm doing nails since 2004. At this point, this number is sounds, like you start to count, oh my God, how old am I now? And my motto is nails explained easily. Because I always like, taking complicated things, researching them, diving deep into the topic, and then explaining them super easy to other people. I think, found my passion because this is what I like to do the most. I'm also international educator and judge, and my students won over 80 awards. So I started competing in the competitions myself. But then I figured that I actually enjoy training other people for the competition, which is much harder because when it's yourself, you're responsible for everything. But when it's some other person, you need not only to train them and to teach them certain technique and to show them how to do competition nails, you also need to motivate them. Like you need to make sure that they will feel confident and calm. And this is like another challenge. So my mission is to inspire, to explain complicated terms easily, and to help nail technicians to earn more at the end of the day. Because sometimes I see it too. There are so many talented nail technicians, but for some reason they are charging below average. And I know it well because I've been there too. And it's important to know your worth, to charge what you're worth, so you will you will earn enough to buy better products, to take classes, and at the end of the day just to live the life how you want it, right? So I think this is an important part too. You look younger now than in 2004. Oh, thank you. Well, I haven't showed you the pictures from 2004 yet. Okay, well, I'm not sure which year is this, but yeah, maybe something like that or earlier. So I started by investing $100. That was the price back then for the beauty school. And I started working as a mobile nail tech because I couldn't find a job in a nail salon. I was still having my degree in college. And for some reason, I didn't want to have people in my apartment. And honestly, I didn't really have enough equipment for that. So I thought if I become a mobile nail technician, I will just take my nail polishes with me. What else? Like brushes, whatever I need, and that will be easier to start. So my first beauty school didn't offer the best classes, but that's all I could afford at the time. I used the cheapest products and couldn't afford to buy all the supplies I needed. I even remember this part. I was using mostly tips, and I was doing acrylic extensions. So most clients, they always wanted short or medium length nails. Nobody wanted this like extreme length. But when you apply the tips, these old school tips, they were always extremely long. So when I applied them, I didn't have this tip cutter tool yet, the special tool that you use to clip the extra length from the tips. So I used the regular scissors. And I remember that finally when I think I did like 2 clients, I'm like, okay, this time I'm going straight to this beauty supply and I'm going to buy this tip cutter finally. So I just wanted to tell you that it didn't start like easily. Okay, so this was my beginning. And also there is a little embarrassing story. I don't think I've ever even shared it with someone, but I decided to share it with you. So I wanted to attract more clients. So this is what I did. I created these ads on the paper, like I printed them and I was attaching them, like sticking them to the bus stops. But I did it at 5 a.m. because I was really worried that someone from my school, some of my friends or maybe my teachers will see me. So I was dressing up really weirdly, like I took like the worst clothes I could find, so people will not recognize me, and putting these ads. And it helped a little bit, by the way. So, I just really wanted to attract more clients. That was very important to me. And this is the year when I started renting my first booth at the salon, I believe. But I still wasn't feeling very confident. Like I was afraid, and the most important part is that I charge below average in my area, about $25. Like this is what I started with, but still was dreaming to grow big. Okay, so now I see nail technicians with similar problems. Okay, so there's one, this type, it's called I'll do it tomorrow. When you understand that you need to learn something, that you need to change something, but you're delaying this. Okay, like you think, well, maybe I will do it tomorrow, but the problem is that it never comes. So some nail technicians say that, yes, actually, I would like to raise my prices and start working in a premium salon or open my new salon, whatever your goal is. But first, I need to pay back the loan, or my kids are little. We always find different things that we think are preventing us from reaching our goals. Or like, I don't have enough experience yet. It's just too early. And it's called delayed life syndrome, when we think that all the best will happen in the future, but the problem is it never happens. Okay, so because at some point I was thinking exactly the same way. I thought, how can I charge more? Because I'm just a beginner. Okay, the nails I'm doing, it's taking me too long. I don't have expensive products, and I mean, how do I get out of this? Okay, and there is another type, which is called it's too late. Some people unfortunately think that it's too late to start doing nails because all clients in the world, they already have their nail technicians. It's too late to start Instagram or YouTube because like it's already crowded. So let me know if you ever had thoughts like this, whether from category 1 or 2, because I want to assure you that no, it's never too early or too late. Okay, so the best time is now, and if you wanted to bring your game to another level, if you want to upgrade your skills and start working differently, just in a different way, so no, it is definitely not too late or too early. The best time is always now. Procrastination is our own worst enemy. I am terrible at procrastinating. Yeah, I know, Annalyn. I mean, we're all humans and we definitely feel like that at some point. So I'm really hoping that this webinar will help you a little bit to beat it. Okay, so now is the best time to start. Actually, even better than when I started in 2004, trust me, because back then there was, there was a little social media like MySpace, something like that, but we didn't have that much tutorials and online classes. There was nothing like this. And now you have it all, like access to all this valuable information, and people want to get their nails done. Okay, guys, so you need to trust me. I traveled the world. I've been to 89 countries for now, and almost in each area, it doesn't even matter, like it's a big city or a small city, almost everywhere, it's a very common complaint from a people when they say, yeah, like I'm going to the salon to do nails, but I'm still looking for this nail technician that will be able to do, I don't know, let's say extensions on my short nails. Or most people are still looking for this, perfect nail technician. And trust me, if you will be a nail technician that offers a good service, you will always have clients. Yes, it's very intimidating starting your own business. I know, it's scary. Actually, doing something new, it is, but we need to step right there. Okay, so even after some motivation, still we feel like, okay, well, I'm afraid to change something, or I don't have time for this. I'm afraid to lose my existing clients. This is a very common fear of nail technicians who already have a few clients, and they're worried that they will leave if they change something, if they raise their prices or change the location, or something else. And of course, afraid to raise the prices or afraid to start, which is also very common fear. And that's okay. I totally feel you, because at every part when I changed something, it was scary, like extremely. But if you stay in the same place where you are now, it's not going to change, right? We need to step out of our comfort zone. That's the only way to change something, okay? And staying at the same place will only make it worse, unfortunately. So if you're ready to open your mind and learn something new, bring your nail skills to the next level, let's get started. Okay, so send some fire emojis or just the word ready, and let's begin. If you are ready, okay, to open your mind, to forget everything, well, maybe not exactly everything, but some things that you learned in the past, because they might be a little different from what are we going to learn today. Sure, there's more nail technicians now, but nail enhancements are also trendy and more people want to have that service, right? Laura is sharing. Exactly. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Of course, people who cannot live without nails or manicure, they're going somewhere already. Yes, to the salon or to nail technician. But if you will be that nail technician that offers something they've been looking for, such as natural nail care, like nails that are looking like natural nails, these nude colors and something, people who like that will come to you. Or if you will offer long extensions with crystals and designs, people who like that will come to you. So don't even think about it. Okay, wow, I see fire coming from all over, from one chat and from another chat. Thank you guys, and let's get started then. Okay, what is the first thing to achieve perfect gel manicure? What do you think? What is the most important thing that we need so we will have this flawless gel manicure that will look great, that is going to last? And by the way, there's one thing I wanted to point out regarding the topic of this webinar, how to do gel manicure that lasts 28 days or more. It means that if you do a good job, you can do this kind of gel manicure, but normally we should not let them last that long. So what I'm saying is after 21, 25 days, we need to do infill or new set, okay? Just to make sure, so we make it clear. Okay, so we have different versions of what is the first important thing to achieve perfect gel manicure. Nail prep, cuticle prep, practice. Yeah, well, that's right. If we're talking about the part of the service. But before even we go there, before we start the prep, we need to understand what the perfect gel manicure looks like. Because I figure that not everyone exactly understands it. I mean, we can tell like, okay, I like these nails, I don't like these nails. But we need to have this like image in our mind so we will understand where are we going, okay? When you know what it looks like, you'll understand how to achieve this perfect gel manicure. Let's quickly check up with the terms because I noticed that we have so many beginners. And I just want to make sure that we will be on the same page because I might use some terminology you may not be familiar with. So let's quickly check with it. We have a nail, and this white thing on top is called free edge. And then we have the smile line, the line that separates the nail bed area from the free edge. So some people have a beautiful smile line like we have in the picture, but most times it's not exactly like this. It can be like a straight line. It can be not symmetrical. It can be like diagonal. There are so many different ways of how it can look. And then we have a nail plate, what we usually call the nail itself. And we have cuticle and eponychium on the top. Well, on the bottom, depending on how you look at it. Okay, but we will be talking today mostly about terms regarding gel overlay, not just anatomy. Okay, so these two lines are called sidewalls, and they also may look differently depending on the nail type. But our goal when we are doing an overlay to make them look as straight and as parallel as possible. And then it depends also on what kind of shape are you going to create. But in this area, in nail bed area, the perfect option is when they're just straight and parallel. And then we have apex. Apex is the highest point of the nail. And we need to build it correctly in order to have a proper, like a good structure of the nail. Okay, what's the structure? We have natural nails, and then we can do nail extensions, like extend them. And with nail extensions, I think most people understand that, yes, we need to do something in a certain way. Like we need to apply maybe more product here, like less product here. Then we need to use some tips or forms, right, to make them longer. But when it comes to overlay, which is technically only applying product on top of the natural nail, I noticed that most people thought that, well, I only need to take the base coat, apply it, color, apply it, and top coat. That's it. Do I really need to do something else? Well, yes, we also need to build the structure in order to protect natural nail. And also, with certain nail types, we can change the way they look. So this like version of the perfect structure, why it's like that, right? I mean, why we cannot do apex on the free edge, or why we cannot do this right near the cuticle? Why it's like that? This is actually from Mother Nature. This is what the strong nails look like. You definitely have this friend, or maybe it's someone like from your family. You definitely know someone who has really strong nails and is able to grow them long, like a person who never had problems with being able to grow their nails. These people exist. So this perfect structure was taken from this kind of nails. Right? Because let's say mostly if we have brittle nails, or if we have flat nails or uneven surface of the nail, when you build the structure on top, you can change it and you will have this flawless looking perfect nails. But most importantly, the structure will prevent them from breaking, and people who will never be able to grow their nails longer will finally have this opportunity. Okay, so we have apex, and then we have the nail growth point, this white dot. Remember the smile line we had on like a couple slides earlier? So we have the smile line, and this growth line is technically the same as just the corner of the smile line. That would be my mom. Okay. Yeah, I know. You guys definitely know a person like this. So, and also another important term we need to learn today is stress area. Why is it called stress? Yes, for that exact reason you've been just thinking, because it's, it causes some stress. You can actually see the stress area on your own nails if you have naked nails right now. If you have like extensions or overlays like me, you will not see it. But if you have a naked nail, you can actually try it and see it like this. You just need to take the free edge and slightly press on it. And then you will see this white spot that appears on top. This is the stress area. So why is it called stress area? Whenever we are doing something with our hands, like taking something or cleaning something, or just doing something like cleaning the house or swimming, anything like carrying heavy bags. And once we touch something with our fingers and nails, most pressure always goes to the stress area. So if the structure was not built properly, like if it's too thin or too thick or just not how it's supposed to be, then the stress area might be not strong enough, and then we have different options. The nail can break, or we might have a product lifting or peeling, and many, many different options. That's why it's important to understand how it should work. Okay, well, yeah, this is what the stress area look like. Usually it's located a little bit above the free edge, and it, depending on the length of the nail bed, it can be a little longer, it can be a little shorter, but it's always there. Okay, so gel manicure is about, it's not like, I hope by this time you already start to understand what I mean. So gel manicure is not just about taking color and applying it on nails. That's what we thought about gel manicure a few years ago. Remember when gel polishes just appeared on the market? Well, maybe some of you don't remember. I always in my head, I think that everyone, of course, remembers everything from scratch, but I know we have nail enthusiasts and nail technicians here who are working for like 1 year or 2 years only, and this is the time where we already had gel polishes on the market. So gel manicure is also about building the structure of the nail with gel according to the nail shape, length, and nail type. Yes, there are different nail types. There are short and beaten nails, there are peeling nails, there are flexible nails, there are naturally thin nails. And the product and technique should be different for all these kinds of nails. Gel manicure is also about making them last, right? We want to create an overlay that is going to last 28 days or more until the next infill. It should prevent lifting, peeling, or breaking. I mean lifting, peeling, and breaking of the natural nail, of course, and especially of the product. And also it can protect the natural nail, because there are always people, and I'm among them. I'm one of those people. I was never able to grow my natural nails without any enhancements. Like, it was never possible. I remember so I was playing piano in school, and during summer, this was the only time when we had a summer break, I was allowed to have my nails longer, because, when you play, you always need to have them short. And I was like, all right, finally I can, I don't have to trim my nails all the time. And I always was dreaming how within this 3 months I'm going to grow them long, but it never happened. Once they grow a little longer, they started peeling and breaking, and I was like, oh man, it's not working. But later, when I tried extensions, it finally worked. So when we do incorrect structure, the nails may look wide or bulky, but what's most important, we might see an inconsistent shape, or we may experience such problems as lifting, broken nails, cracks, peeling on the free edge, uncomfortable feeling, as nails grow longer. And this area near the cuticle, once the nails grow longer, it can be extremely visible. And this can happen if we have this incorrect structure. But if we have a correct structure, we may actually hide some imperfections. Nails will look elegant and thin. The natural nail is going to be protected because of the product on top. We will see consistent shape. Gel overlay is going to last 28 days or more. And finally, we will have this seamless growth area. Okay, so this was a little part of theory, but I think it's easier when you see what it actually looks like. So I will give you some examples. I noticed that we have many people who are watching my YouTube channel. So if you're watching me on YouTube or Instagram, you definitely seen many of the nail transformations that I did. I always try to show that it's all about product application and how you apply the product, because sometimes we can have the same nails and see different results depending on how we apply the product. And this is one of those examples. So we can see that this overlay is actually not that bad, right? This cuticle area is pretty thin, but if we look at the thumb, we can see the side view. You can notice that there's too much product on the free edge, so it does look a little bulky, and to me this shape also look a little inconsistent. So this client, she has naturally deep C curve, so her nails are growing downwards a little bit. And we decided to not change it. We did not really change the length much. I just did another overlay, and this is the same person, but this overlay looks completely different, right? Okay, this is another example of the client. So here we have square-shaped nails. And according to this growth area, we can tell that originally those were short nails. So when we have short nails and square shape, it also depends like what kind of nails are we working on, but we also need to build the structure. And on these nails, the common, like the mistake that we can see here is just too much product on the free edge and along the sidewalls. So nails, they look bulky, but to me what's more important, they look, they look kind of wide. Okay, so this is what we did to them. We changed the shape. We decided to reshape them into oval shape because this client, she has naturally what's called nails like wide. So when we keep them, we keep this square shape and keep them short, they look even wider. But once we reshape them into oval, they look completely different. And you see the overlay that I did, it's much thinner, but it's not just applying the color and everything. We have the structure here, but it looks almost like nail polish on the nails, right? We also created this different kind of nail art that, in my opinion, is also making nails look a little less wide. So this is just like another kind of example of how when you build the proper structure, how different the nails can look. But it's not only about the looks, which is important too, because a look is actually the first thing your client will see. So if they see pictures like this in your profile, this can truly attract clients. But most importantly, these nails are going to last. Okay, this is another important part of the service, because when you have clients and they see that, this overlay lasts, they will definitely will come back to you. How do you change the nail structure? Okay, well, we cannot really change this, how the nail is. If the nails are growing downwards, It's just genetics. This is how they grow. But with the product, if we add more product on the top and file some nail underneath, we can make them look not as curved. So yeah, there are techniques to do this, but for nails growing downwards, I recommend to use hard gel or polygel. And another example, this overlay is not bad too, but to me these nails, they look, especially the index finger, it looks a little flat, right? Let me see. Oops. Oh yeah, I forgot I have this tool here. So you see this. Oh, okay, this guys, this is hard to navigate, but I will try my best. Okay, yay. So we have kind of too much product near the cuticle, right? So as they grow longer, this area doesn't look like it's seamless. Also, we have too much product on along the side walls, and overall the nails look a little wide. Okay, it was just two color with a line of color separating. Oh, okay. Anastasia, great transformation. Thank you, Alina. Okay, so this was before, and on this, so I was explaining you also about the clients, but with this client, her nails are just regular nails. They're not wide, they're not flat, nothing like that. But they do look wide and flat now, right? So this is what incorrect structure, how it can change the look of the nails. This is what they actually look like. So we have an overlay here. We have matte top coat and we have 3D design on top, but they do not look wide now, right? And it's the same shape. We didn't even change it much. It's still like an almond oval shape. Okay, let's talk about the products now, because this part is always very confusing. When I talk about my journey when I started in 2004, back then there were not that many products. Like seriously, we had acrylic, we had gel, like something like that. But now I can imagine your frustration, guys, when like you just came into the industry and you're like, okay, we have builder gel, structured gel, and this gel, and you're like, oh my God, which one should I even pick? Like, what is the difference? So let's try to understand it a little bit. So first of all, we have light cured products or UV cured products. Okay, the ones that are going to cure only once you put the nails into the lamp and no other way. So this is gel, gel polish, hard gel, polygel, gel paints, anything that contains a word gel. So it's pretty simple, and that's the gel and gel polish, the products we're going to talk about today. But besides, we have an air cured products that do not require any LED or UV lamp. They just cure without anything, which is regular nail polish. We have acrylic nails, and we also have a dip system. Okay, and also we have hard products, and this is like another type of classification. Hard products, which means they're not flexible. Okay, so you just take it and you have this piece of the product and it's not as flexible as others. So this is hard gel, acrylic, polygel, and dip. So all these products can be used for nail extensions, including dip. Yeah, we can do dip extensions with tips. And you can also use them for overlays as well, but you need to be aware that they hard, which means they're not move. So what does it mean? Let's say we have hard gel, just pick any of these products, okay? And then we have a nail that is a little flexible. And once the nail grows longer, it starts to curve. Okay, so it changes its curve, especially along the corners. So what's going to happen? This product is hard, it's not going to move. We most likely will have lifting on the free edge. Besides hard products, we have soft products, which are flexible, which is gel polish or soft gel. And soft products are a little bit more flexible than hard products, obviously, so they move. Which means if you will take the same nail we just talked about in the previous example and apply a soft product on it, this nail will start to curve on the free edge, and the product will do the same along with the nail because it's more flexible. Okay. So does it mean that flexible products are always good for flexible nails? Yes, but it depends. Okay, so if you have flexible nails that are very brittle, then if you use a flexible product on it, it's not going to lift as much, but it's also not really going to protect it. Okay, so in this case, you need to use only a flexible base coat and then a hard product. Okay, we just talked about UV cured product and light cured product, and also this has nothing to do with soak off products and products that you can only file off. Okay, just to make sure I will not confuse you even more, because this is a completely different thing, which means by hard products, it doesn't mean that you cannot or can't soak them off, because you can do this with acrylic or dip and certain types of polygel, but you cannot do this with hard gel. Okay. How do we straighten the sidewalls while keeping them thin? Kelly is asking. Well, that's a very challenging part actually of the overlay. So we need to straighten them. We're not supposed to apply a product which is like one piece of hair thin, because that will be too thin. So we need to apply a little bit more, but not as much as on the apex area. So it needs to be something in between. Okay, now let's talk about gel polishes, the products we mostly use for gel overlays. So gel polishes, we have three main products. We have base coat, which we apply first, then we have a color, which goes next, and then we have a top coat. And then we have hundreds of different types of base coats and about the same amount of different kinds of colors, obviously, and the top coats, right? There are okay, let's talk about top coats. We have glossy, we have matte, we have top coats with foil and changing colors and glowing in the dark and glowing in the sun and so on, and about the same amount of colors. And with base coats, it's also very confusing because there's so many different kinds. So let's just talk about their consistency. Consistency is when you open the base coat and see if it's runny or not. So there are always thin consistency base coats, which are almost like, I would say, water, like very runny. So you apply it and you see like how it's actually moving. When you take this brush from the bottle and it drops right away, like very quickly, then it's probably a thin consistency base coat. And then we have a medium consistency, which is more like an olive oil, maybe a little thicker. So in this case, it's not as runny, it's something in between, and it's a little bit more comfortable to work with, well, depending on what you want to create. And then we have a thick consistency, which holds its shape for a longer time. When you take it from the jar, it's not going to, let me actually show you it in a different, okay, so yeah, for some reason, I thought I had a control here, but it's not working very well. Okay, so I'll just explain it to you. So when I take the brush from the bottle, it's like stretching and it stays on the brush for quite a so you see, if I hold it like that, you see the drop is not going to fall right now. It's gonna take a while. Okay, and this consistency is called thick. And also it's very common to call products like this builder gel. Like we have the one from Madame Glam, and it's called Sock Off. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. So it's called Sock Off Builder Gel, or sometimes you may see Sock Off Builder Gel Polish. So sometimes there will be nothing at all. Like Luxio, this brand like by Accents base coat is also pretty thick consistency, but this name doesn't say anything about it, so we just kind of need to know it on our own. And then we have, let's see what this gel, okay, Sock Off Base Gel. So once again, we have no idea what consistency is about. Well, I will say it's medium. Okay, so yeah, it's not medium thick. So this is confusing, I know, because with some base coats you can tell right away which consistency it is because of its name, but with some you have no idea. And also base coats themselves, they might have a different names. For example, like we have a Saviland or their gelish brand, they call their base coats a foundation gel. While other brands may have a name, a base coat, or there's this brand in Vogue, they call it Connect, right? Like, because it's for adhesion. So it may have a different name. And with the consistency, some gels may have a certain name, like builder gel usually always refer to a thick consistency, but sometimes you have no idea, so you just have to read reviews or ask the manufacturer. Okay, so the consistency is how quickly the gel is moving. Thick consistency is easier when you need to build a structure for a long nail, when you need to add more product on the top, because it's not going to run that much. But the disadvantage of working with thick consistency is that when you apply it, you also need to apply it in a certain way, so you will have this nice smooth surface. Because if you won't, you will have these bumps and uneven surface on top, and we definitely do not want that. Okay, so what I'm saying is that whenever you're working, I recommend you to have at least 2 different types of base coats in terms of consistency. Because with thin or medium consistency, it's easier to apply a thin coat, and you will need that sometimes for strong nails, for healthy nails, for short nails. But when you need to build a structure on longer nails, then it's more convenient to work with builder gel. And I was just talking about the consistency, okay? We also have clear base coats. We have different colors of base coats. There are like a jelly base coats or like nude, you know, any color. But I also recommend, even if you want to try different kinds, to have at least one clear base coat, because a base coat like gel, any polymer, it is clear. And any color that you have in it, which can be nude, white, black, blue, whatever, it means there's something additional, some additional pigment in it. But with the clear, you will definitely have this full polymerization through. So I recommend to use clear with any nails that potentially might have problems in the future, such as thin or brittle or damaged nails. However, color base coats are really great when you want to apply just one coat and have color right away, like a nude color. It's really a time saver, like you do not need to apply an additional coat. So it's better if you have different kinds. And now I noticed that, yeah, you guys are mentioning this rubber base coat, so I decided to add an additional category for it. And to me, this is one of the most confusing products in the nail industry. because I'm not sure why it's called exactly the rubber base, because it doesn't really contain anything related to rubber, but I guess it's because of its structure, like it feels a little rubbery. And technically, rubber base coats is also just a thick consistency base coat. Usually it has this thick consistency. But another feature I noticed in most rubber base coats, especially the ones that were first on the market, they usually tend to have a high percentage of HEMA, which is hydroxyethyl methacrylate. And whenever a product has more than 20% of HEMA in their ingredients, that is not very good for people who are highly sensitive to allergic reactions. So in my opinion, I recommend you to avoid using a products like this, or especially not to apply a thick layer of a product. And you will probably ask, like, how do I know if this product contains HMA or not? Well, the first and easiest option is to ask for MSDS from the manufacturer, and of course to read the ingredient list. So you will see, let's say, well, in this Madam Glam, I do not see it in the ingredient list at all. But if there's a high percentage of HMA, you will see it rather as the first or second ingredient. If HMA is mentioned, but it's like almost at the bottom of the list, most likely there is a very low percentage of it, and in this amount, it's totally safe. The rubber base I use says HMA free. Oh, okay. So yes, there are exceptions. Okay, guys, I'm not, I want you to understand how products work. That's why I'm explaining this to you. How can you tell if there's HMA or not? Because, like I said, with all the marketing that the companies do, sometimes it gets so confusing. So some base coats have this ingredient, some of them have a different one. So not all rubber base coats have high percentage of HMA, but I noticed that most of the rubber base coats I worked with, they do have a very high percentage of it. So I just want you to be careful with that, okay? And always check the ingredient list. Okay, so let's continue. And yeah, this is a very typical mistake. So when these rubber base coats appeared on the market, most nail technicians were very happy because they usually have a great adhesion. You apply them on the nail, even if you didn't really do a good job on the prep, it's still going to stay. I remember actually that part. There were many nail technicians who were complaining like, well, I have this few clients, they always have this lifting, but once I use a rubber base coat, I do not have this problem anymore. And it seems like it was like a lifesaver. But the problem was many of these rubber base coats, they have a high percentage of HMA. Once again, not all of them. Please check it for your own brand. But if you have like a client with sensitive nails and you apply too much, sometimes the client may have burns, which looks like this on this picture, or damaged nails. And I personally had 2 clients like this. I even have, I think, a video of this client. I think I would never use rubber base. Okay, guys, so I just want you to be aware, okay, so on how to use products, and please be careful with these base coats and with the products where you cannot find any information on the ingredients. And Madam Glam is a great HMA-free company. Yeah, exactly. And oh, by the way, with HMA-free companies, I also would like to warn you a little, because since I'm working with so many brands, and yes, like most of them have this HMA-free, now you still need to check, because sometimes they may have a certain line of products that can be different. So always check it, because all brands, usually they have MSDS information on their website. This is the information about the products, how you should store them, about the transportation, but they also have this ingredient list, and you can check it on their website, or if you cannot find it, you can email them and ask for it. Okay, so let's continue. I hope, this was helpful. So professional education is very important in my opinion because it's important to understand how to choose the products, how to work safely for clients and nail technicians. Because different problems with allergic reactions can occur not only with our clients but with ourselves as well, because that's why it's so important to understand how everything works. When sometimes people say, well, doing these nails and all these gels, they're dangerous and toxic anyways. Like, why are you so surprised you have your nails damaged? Well, not really. Actually, if we use it wise, if we do it right, if we use protection that we need, if we have a dust collector, protective gloves, special outfit, and so on, if we understand how product works, if we use a reliable brands, if we understand how technique works and choose the right products for each client, then no, it's actually going to bring only beautiful nails and joy. Trust me. And of course, if you have all this knowledge, it will help you to avoid most typical mistakes. And I think it's always better to learn from someone else's mistakes rather than your own. I have a good luck with rubber-based too thin layers. My nails have good structure and strength, though. It gives a little more durability. Okay, yeah, so quickly going back to rubber-based coats. If you use a thin coat, then it's not that bad. But please, guys, do not apply too much of this base coat, because when you apply it super thick, this is when usually this kind of, some problems may happen, like burns. Regarding HMA, it is better to use a HMA-free clear base and then rubber base that contains HMA to avoid allergies. Well, technically you can, but why? The problem is also with the HMA, then it can be in a sticky layer, right? And then if we file or shape or buff the nails, we may have it in the dust. I would recommend you to have a HMA-free clear base and then another HMA-free product on top. Okay, so then let's talk about typical mistakes. Typical mistakes with gel overlay are incorrect structure of the nail. You've seen some examples of it, or extra thin application. When we apply the product too thin, especially on long or brittle nails, it will also may result in broken nails. Over-file sidewalls. So sometimes it can be nothing wrong with the product or gel application, but with something we did before that, which is nail prep or filing and shaping. So I see this common mistake when we have a client with wide nails and nail technician, like we see these nails and we're like, okay, we need to make them more narrow because that's what the client is asking. And we overfile the sidewalls, technically breaking the stress area. Remember, guys, I told you about the stress area. So by overfiling these growth points, we're technically breaking the stress area of the natural nail. So then we apply the product on top, but the part of the stress area is already missing. Okay, so this kind of nail will not be strong enough. Too much product near the cuticle, or too much product on the free edge, or too much product overall. And another mistake, which I consider a mistake, is extremely low price, which I did a lot too, because when the prices are too low, you will attract a certain type of clients who just think, okay, I'm only going to pay like $20 for nails and not $1 more. And this is, they will not really appreciate the quality, the products that you have, the knowledge that you have. They will just want to have nails for this price. So I think that, this mistake can also lead to being burnt out or to not be happy with your work. And finally, working at a low price means that I've seen that too. Is some nail technicians do not even understand the self-cost of the service, so they set a very low price, but they do not want to work with a cheap product, so they buy like a regular products and means they're earning so little, so that's not really enough to invest like in your knowledge, in your growth, in like a better venue for the services. And this is kind of what we talked in the beginning of the at the beginning of this webinar. Like, this will not give any motivation to grow. Okay, so how to do gel manicure that lasts 28 days or more? Like 7 steps what we need to do. First of all, we need to pick the product that works with a certain nail type. Okay. Number 2, we need to choose the length and shape accordingly. Let's say if you have a client who's very active, who's doing a lot of sports, obviously it will not be very wise to offer them a super long nails. Then we need to do a manicure, which is cuticle care. I prefer doing dry manicure with electric nail file. You can also do that, or you can do the traditional kind of manicure, it doesn't matter, but it needs to be very clean. And this part is actually important because I noticed that sometimes we think of it as some separate service. So we have a cuticle care, like manicure is something that will make our cuticles, like this area, look nice. And then we have gel application, which is completely the same. In some salons, they even have like a different price for the services. Like you can do this without this, right? However, manicure is a very important part of gel manicure because when we work on the cuticles, we also clean the cuticle that is on the nail plate. And if we do not clean it properly, gel manicure is not going to last. So manicure is also part of the nail prep, in my opinion. That's why it's so important to do it right. So after manicure, we have a nail prep. So we need to prep the nail. We need to take off the surface shine. We need to apply prep products, dehydrator and primer. And then we apply the base coat. Sometimes we need to build the structure. So when can we just apply the base coat, like a thin layer, and when it's just enough to build the structure? So if we have what I was explaining to you, a strong, healthy nails, these lucky people who can grow them really long without any outside help. Well, in this case, you only need a thin coat of the base coat. Or if we have a person with, again, healthy nails, but very, very short length, then it's okay to apply the base coat. But once we have medium or long nails, once we have flat nails, once we have ski jump nails, the nails that are growing upwards, or if we have, nails, it's very common on the thumbs, the uneven surface on the nail, or if we have a damaged nails, or brittle nails, or naturally thin nails. Well, in all these cases, we need to build the structure. And once we do that, we need to apply the color and do nail art if needed. And finally, seal it with a top coat. Okay, so each of these steps need to be performed very well. Let's say if you did not do a good job in manicure and nail prep, then it doesn't really matter. Even if you apply a base coat perfectly, if you do a good job on color and nail art and top coat, it still may not last. And the opposite works as well. If you did a good job with nail prep and manicure, but the base coat you applied, it was flooding a little bit along the sidewalls, or the structure was not built properly, this kind of nails may also not last. Okay, so my goal is to explain to you, like I said, gel manicure includes few steps. That's why when I get a question like Anastasia, like I do everything like you show on the video, but my nails are always like peeling on the free edge. There are many reasons why it can happen. And usually, from my experience, from what I see from live classes and online classes as well, most of the time there is a mistake, but not only in one part, especially if you're a beginner. Usually there are like at least 2 little or big mistakes in at least in 2 of these parts. Okay. And they're also very connected to each other. Let's say if you didn't do nail prep well, it will be extremely hard for you to apply a base coat properly. Because if the surface of the nail plate is not very clean, you will not be able to apply it well. If you apply the base coat not well, it will be a nightmare applying the color. You definitely guys know what I mean if you have been in this situation. Let's say you apply the base coat and it's flooding a little bit along the side walls, or it's uneven overall, and then you try to apply the color on top and it's just not working. Dry mani is without soaking in water. Yes, exactly. So dry manicure is usually electric file manicure. Yeah, well, that's why it's called dry. When we do manicure without using water. And this is the type I use a lot. You've seen it on my videos if you're watching them. So yes, that's very common. Okay, so this is another kind of mistake, like of what can happen. Here we have, I would call it long nail. It's actually a pretty natural nail, right? But we have such a deep crack in the product and in the nail now as well, right on the stress area. And I think with this enhancement, yeah, this structure was not simply built properly. The overall application was just too thin, and this is what can happen. So in this case, gel manicure is not really protecting natural nail. It's kind of the same as this person didn't have any kind of overlay at all. Okay, so this is like a crack. This is another kind of mistake. Well, of course, sometimes I give a little exaggerated examples, and I get the comments like, "Oh, Anastasia, you're showing us like this kind of examples." Of course, we understand that everything is wrong here, but sometimes you can see nails that will look pretty good, like you will not even visibly see any problems, but there still might be something hiding underneath. So I think it's, another skill that's important to have, especially for nail technician, what it's called, like you can tell visually quickly when something is wrong with the enhancement. Like, okay, so what do we see here? We definitely can see some product lifting almost on each nail. And I also think this shape is kind of inconsistent, but what's most importantly, there's too much product on the sides, right? Like the nails, they look kind of bulky because of that. However, the cuticle area is rather thin, right? I cannot say that the cuticle area is thick. It's definitely not. And since these nails are outgrown already, it's hard to tell whether the apex was placed correctly, but I think that it wasn't, that overall this overlay was too thick for this kind of length, because if you will see this part where the nail is growing already, you will notice that originally those nails probably were rather short. Okay, so for short nails, we do not really need to add that much volume. Can I use a clear builder gel as a base coat? Safira, so there are builder gel base coats and there are builder gels overall. So if this is like a builder gel type of base coat, you can. But I strongly recommend you to do this first coat, the adhesion coat, and use a regular base coat instead. Regular, I mean like medium or thin consistency. Because with builder, it's very tricky. It's very hard to apply a thin coat because of its consistency. It's just going to take you a while to do that. While with thin or medium consistency, you can do it rather fast. So I recommend you to use a clear, medium or thin consistency base coat first anyways, and then use whatever builder you decide to use. Is it compulsory to apply primer? What will happen if we don't apply primer? Well, technically, if you will read this manual or instructions for most gel polish products, most of the time they don't even have a primer in their brand. So you can do a gel overlay without a primer. I recommend to use it when we have nails, like on this picture, like a damaged nails, when we have brittle nails, when we have naturally thin nails. That's when I would use it. In all the rest of the cases, if we have regular healthy nails, then it's not necessary. I also usually use it only on the free edge because this is the area where we need additional adhesion. But when you're using primer, there's an important thing you need to be aware of. When you use primer with gel polish, and then you plan to soak off this enhancement, you will not be able to do this. And this is one of the reasons the companies do not tell you to use primer. Because with the primer, the adhesion is going to be so strong, it will not be possible like to fully soak it off. So you will need to file it off. So keep that in mind. Because, you know, sometimes you may have a client who's very strict about this part. Like they really want to do the soak off removal only. So in this case, you might not want to use primer. What if someone says they're allergic to primer and they don't want you to use it? Okay, well, honestly, this is a very, you know, subject when if a client will ask me not to build the apex or not to use primer or dehydrator, you know, something that is part of the service that I always do and I was intending to do for her, I will be first surprised and like tell them that if I will do something that's breaking the technology that I do, I may not guarantee them a good result. Well, I haven't seen really much people who are allergic to non-acid regular primers. And I mean, how do they know that they have an allergic reaction specifically to primer? Usually it's just for gel products overall. Well, like I said, with gel overlay, if they have a regular nails, you can just not use it, and that's fine. But this part, like when they said they want to use it, be careful, because if they ask you for something like, what if they don't want you to use a base coat? Okay, so there are some parts we should not eliminate from the service just because the client is asking you to. You know, we just explain that if I will not do this, then I don't really know what's going to happen. The nails may not last. In Estonia, we mostly have primers as dehydrators and bonders as a sticky layer. Oh yeah, so this is another confusing issue with the name of the products, because sometimes dehydrators are called bonder, bondex, or even, you know, pre-primer, different names, and sometimes primers may have the same name, so like a bondex or a bonder. So yeah, this is very confusing. What do you think about no apex nail? Well, I think that this is the nail that is not going to last. Even on very, very short nails, we can build like the apex that will be almost seamless. It will be like almost invisible, but it's still there. So I think the no apex nail will work for naturally strong nails only. This is kind of the same as nail extensions without any apex. If you try doing them and see what happens, well, most of the time they're not going to last, especially if they're medium length or long. Okay, this is another type. Well, finally, so after this exaggerated versions, I wanted to show you another kind of nail. Look at this one. It doesn't look bulky, right? It doesn't look extremely thick. We can see that it's pretty thin near the cuticle area, and it's, I mean, overall it looks good, right? But we still have a crack on the side. And as far as I remember, with this particular client, she has something like that almost on each nail. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the nails may not look visibly, you may not see these mistakes as clearly, but there's still something wrong. So in this case, there was incorrect structure first, overfiled sidewalls. And also this kind of cracks may appear if the product was not chosen properly according to the nail type. This is another nail. You see, it's also not too thick, but here we can see that the sidewalls are a little overfiled, and on this nail, the side product near the sidewalls seem to be super thin. Okay, this is another set of nails. When I take a picture of different mistakes, obviously I try to choose an angle where you can see it better. So yeah, I don't think I have another angle of these nails, but overall they looked okay. Okay, so they didn't look like too thick, or we can see that they're a little uneven, but not like something, I would say, too terrible, right? Well, yeah, a little thick near the cuticles, a little lifting here, but I mean, overall it doesn't seem bad, but not when we look from this view. Look what we have here. Product lifting almost on each nail near the cuticle. But at the same time, if you look on the cuticle area, it's not too thick, right? So it's always a matter of a few parts. So in this case, I'm not sure what exactly went wrong. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but I think it was nail prep, and most likely, since I did a transformation with this client, they were probably using a hard gel with a hard gel base coat, which is not very suitable for nails like this. They're rather thin and flexible. What is the cause of gel polish peeling off the natural nails? Honestly, that's a topic for a whole new webinar, but in short, the most common problem is nail prep. So it was not done properly. Some of the proteins and cuticles are still there on the nail plate. Maybe it's because of the product application, like base coat or color was applied too thick or touching the skin. Not fully, the product was not fully cured. Another one. Here we have enhancement that looks a little thick, right? Especially near the cuticles. And not only near the cuticles, everywhere. It looks overall kind of thick and bulky. However, it's not bad, right? Again, when we look at the side view, I would say it still looks smooth, and there was an apex, right? But why do they look like this? Well, the application was still too thick for this kind of length, because these nails at the beginning, they were obviously short. And this is the exact same person, like an hour, like a couple hours later, when we did another overlay for her. As you can see on this length, you don't really need that much product. All you need to do is to build an apex at a certain point. You need to do the prep, and that's it. What about the primer that needs to be cured? What's the difference with air dry primer? Well, honestly, I rarely use UV primers. Well, the difference is that you need to cure it in LED, and from my experience, what I've seen, these primers are still very similar to base coats. But I usually work with non-acid regular air-cured primers. I have the issue of gel polish peeling off one of my clients, but not the others. Yes, this is also very common. So you need to look what exactly is different about this client. Like I said, when we practice on ourselves, usually we have less problems on our own nails compared to other people, because we practice on ourselves so much. We just tried so many things, and we already know these little specific things about our nails. But everyone, we have different types of nails. Some nails are oily, some nails are flexible, and we need to choose a different products and prep. So just take a close look what exactly is different about this client. Are they peeling on the free edge? How they're peeling? Maybe you should try a product that is more flexible or less flexible. So gel manicure is always about finding what is better for different kinds of nails. And if it's just one client, like not others, then probably you need to use a different technique. Let's say if this client has a very thin and flexible nails, then maybe a good choice will be using a base coat and polygel overlay on top. But that's just my suggestion. Like, I didn't know what exact problem with this client is. Okay, that's just an example. And this is another example of a good structure, right? Look at this shape. It looks consistent. And by the way, this is not my work. This is a work of my students, of one of my students, that they do on gel polish class. So the class I'm going to introduce you today, this is the new one. But we had a gel polish class before. Maybe, by the way, we do have some students from it now. And I decided to update it because now there are so many products and techniques, and to add the part where I will explain how to work with the different types of nails and how to build a structure for medium and longer nails. And this is also a picture of the nails that one of my students did. Without e-file, it's hard to prep the nail properly, Alina. I agree. Yes, well, you still can do this without e-file. That's totally possible. But in my opinion, it does take a longer time, because I was trying to find a different options, but I just like using e-file so much. To me, this is like one of the most important tools. Okay, guys, and let's quickly talk about another topic, lifting. So someone was asking about it. There are many reasons for lifting, but these are the most common. Using improper products. Like I gave you this example with flexible nails and hard product. Another mistake, the manicure is not clean. Like, you didn't clean the cuticles from the nail plate very well. You didn't clean the skin along the sidewalls well. You didn't push the cuticles good. And if you didn't do that, once you apply the product on top, it's not going to stay, because the product will adhere good only to the surface of the nail plate. If there's some proteins, if there's some skin in between, it's going to work like a sponge, absorbing the oils from our skin and pushing them under the product. Okay. Another mistake is a curing mistake. It's very common with the thumbs, because clients usually hold this four fingers okay in the lamp, but with the thumb, sometimes they do not put it deep enough, sometimes it's a little bit to the side, and this is how it doesn't get fully cured. Extreme amount of product can be a reason for lifting in any area, cuticle area, sidewalls, apex area, like overall thick application. Finally, overfiled nails. Healthy nails have a certain amount of layers, usually about 80 layers. But once they're overfiled, and it doesn't matter how and why, I mean, sometimes it could be, I had a client like this. She removed the product by herself, and she badly overfiled them. And do you know, guys, what did she say? She said, "Hey, Anastasia, I decided to save you some time by removing them by myself." And I just look at her nails, they're red. So, well, she didn't really save me time, but we had to look for another product now, because overfiled nails is the same as damaged nails. Nails that have less layers that they're supposed to. And it's extremely hard to do an overlay for this kind of nails, because the adhesion between the layers that are underneath there usually is not very well. So sometimes it's not even possible to do an overlay that's going to last on this kind of nails. When using builder gel in a pot or bottle, do you need to cure per finger? Well, do you need to cure per finger or all hand entirely? It only depends on your skill and the consistency. If you're very quick, you can do 4 nails at a time with a medium consistency, but if you're slower, if you're learning, then it's better to do one by one. I usually do one by one, even though, I mean, I work pretty fast, But just because I don't trust most of my clients and models, because it's very common, somebody calls or they decided to scratch something or touch their phone or something, and this application that I just did will be ruined. So just for my own, calmness, I prefer to cure one by one. So while she's curing one, I'm applying the product or color on the opposite one. So why does the product lift? How to avoid peeling on the free edge? Actually, this information today is not that hard to find. You can find this on YouTube. You can find on Google. Like, seriously. When I started, it was like, I don't even know where you can find it. You had to go to the actual show and ask people. But now you can find it, like, I don't know, ask ChatGPT and they will give you decent information on this topic. But why does nail technicians still have this problem? Why? So it's hard to tell what exactly is wrong in your case. Okay, so even I gave you just the list of reasons what can possibly go wrong, but it's really hard to see it in your own work, right? We cannot really see our mistakes most of the time just because we do not have enough experience for it. Okay, so let's say if you would take a kid, like a small child, and they learn to read and they're reading something and they read incorrectly, you know what they're doing wrong because you already know how to read, right? You have more experience in it. But when you just started, it's extremely hard to see your mistakes, right? And it's hard to evaluate yourself properly, especially if you're new to this. And also, even if you know, okay, well, maybe something is wrong with my nail prep or manicure, but even if you know what the problem is, it's not the same as knowing how to do it right. Okay, so this I decided to add this example. So I read this, let's call it life hack. If a wild animal is chasing you, all you need to do is first, don't be scared, and second, stay calm. Well, even if you've never been in this situation, and hopefully you won't, I wasn't either, but I think can tell it's going to be extremely hard to do this, right? I mean, even if I saw this life hack previously on YouTube Shorts, I'm not sure if I will be able to use this hack because, in this kind of situation, you just can't. Like, how can you not be scared and stay calm? So knowing something and being able to use it, it's a completely different thing. Okay? So that's why sometimes we know that we need to do the prep. We should not apply that much product, but we still can do this because we haven't tried it enough times. We hadn't practiced it. We haven't worked on it specifically. So when we do this, like, we do not, like, our brain, our hands, they're not just working in this way yet because we do not have this skill yet. Okay, so that's why it's important to, when you have someone who can tell you which mistake exactly you're doing. So Nails Pro Academy, the online school, is like a gym for nail technicians, which helps you to stay in shape as a nail technician. But it's a gym with a personal training and coaches that are waiting for you and are going to help you with your goals. So I'm going to talk about this gel manicure class 2.0 like a little later in this webinar. And let's also talk about different types of overlays, which are going to be included in the class, by the way. So we have a regular gel polish overlay, the one that is the most simple, where we just take the base coat, then we apply the color, and then we apply the top coat. Okay, the one that is suitable for healthy and strong nails. And then we have overlay for short nails, which is slightly different. And short nails can be also different, right? There are short nails that are short and beaten, and they're short just because they're, this person decided to file them short. There are short nails that can be with a like oily skin type, and there are short nails with a regular dry skin type. And then we have long nails, and you cannot use the same technique for short and long nails, because the longer nails are, the higher the apex will be, which means we need to build slightly different type of structure. Please let me know, guys, if you understand what I'm like explanation this about different types of overlays, okay? And then we have gel overlay with structure, which will be suitable for most kinds of nails, except for the ones that don't need it. The healthy and strong nails that grow perfectly without any additional help. And then we have hard gel overlay for additional strength, because sometimes when we have nails that are naturally thin, hard gel overlay might be a good solution, because gel polish will simply not be strong enough for this kind of nails. And also we have all different types of nails with a broken corner, or with a broken or overfiled sidewall, or this client when she finally had her nails long and then this one nail breaks. She's like, oh no, do we need to start over again? No, you can just fix one, or do extensions on one. I would like to sign up for my own personal trainer, please, Elinda. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Michelle is actually is currently taking a nail sculpting for beginners class, and I think she had like maybe over 10 certificates from us already. So it's really nice to see our regular students in the chat, because we communicate them through our Zoom sessions, and they attend different types of classes. And I especially am super happy to see them at the webinars, because it means they're still continue to learn. To me, that's awesome, because I'm like that myself. I'm a fan of learning. I learn something every single day. And as you can see, I love being an educator as well. And Elinda is here in the chat, actually. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Alrighty, so let's go to we are going to do the demo now. But first, I will quickly explain it, okay? Because I believe it's important to understand something first before you can do it. How to apply color close to the cuticle without flooding it. I noticed one comment from someone at the beginning of this class, like, oh, Anastasia, I really like this purple nail on the screen that was at the beginning, like I would like to do that one the same. So I'm going to show to you how to do a color application like this. But first, I just want to be honest with you guys, because the tricky thing about the YouTube and social media is we see these tutorials and they're so pretty and it looks so easy, right? When you see someone else doing it. And I think it always looks easy when you see a professional doing something. And you're like, oh my God, I can do this too. And then you try it and it's not working the same way, because there are so many other things we didn't consider and we do not see. And most of the time it's not because this person is hiding something, it's just because there's so many things around it. And so when it comes for color application, this is what else is behind it. Clean manicure. If manicure is not clean enough, if there's still some skin on the nail plate, if it was not done properly, if the sidewalls are not clean enough, even if you do an amazing job applying color, you will still may experience product lifting. Applying base coat evenly and thin, well, thin or thicker depending on the nails we're going to do, is also important, because if you apply base coat too close to the skin and it's going to touch it, you will not get the result that you expect. Remove sticky layer. Okay, so this is not necessary. Okay, this one is optional, but if you're struggling with the part where you apply the color too close and it's flooding everything, I recommend you to try it. I noticed that many, especially beginner nail technicians, usually get really scared when I tell them this trick. I'm like, hey, just try to remove the sticky layer when you apply base coat and apply the color on top. And they're like, oh, really? Like I can do that? It's not going to lift? Okay, so the sticky layer is not going to help you with adhesion in any ways. The product adheres to each other not because of the sticky layer. It's not that like the actual glue. The sticky layer is just this 1% of the polymers that were not fully cured. So don't worry, it's not going to lift well unless you or your client then touches something and the surface will not be any clean anymore. But if you just remove the sticky layer with alcohol and apply the color on top, don't worry, nothing is going to happen, but the color is not going to run like it's going to on the sticky layer of the base coats. Because I noticed that some base coats, some of them don't really have much of the sticky layer, but some of them have so much of it that it's not even convenient to apply the color. Actually, some brands have this kind of instructions in their manual, like gelish. They used to teach us to use a dry brush first after applying the base coat to even out this sticky layer, because if you look at it through microscope, you will see it's like a little drops, you know, like on the window after the rain. But when you do this with a dry brush, you even them out. So I recommend you to take off the sticky layer, and then make sure there's nothing on the nail plate, like it's completely clean and dry. And then we're going to use the brush from the bottle. Okay. Doesn't matter if you use 70 or 90% of the alcohol. No, I think both of them are going to work. Okay. So this is how we are going to apply the color. This is the brush, and this is the nail, the side view. And if you notice, the color is a little ahead of the brush. So to get this crisp and perfect line near the cuticle, you need to push the product closer to the cuticle, but you should not do it just with the brush. It should be with a product that is ahead of the brush. Okay, well, it will soon make sense. Don't worry once you see the video of it. I just want to explain it like this first. And once you do this, we are going to cover sides. It doesn't matter which side wall first, right or left. So we cover one side wall, then we do another one, and then we do a few strokes in between. And this is how we get perfect color application. How do you know if the nails are oily or not? Well, you will see, like, they will look very shiny. Like this person had, you know, like kind of, if we eat chicken with our nails and they become like oily. So people with oily nails always have them like that. Or, and also very typical, they might have a little moisture on their hands. Okay, so who's ready to see the color application demo? I'm going to show you two videos. So the first one is with my 24/7 model with a plastic hand, and then another one on the real clients. Okay, so turn on the video, please. Okay. Oh, it was the first video, please, the 01. Okay, so okay, let's see this one. So this is another version. I'm sorry, can we see another video first? Because there's like a different explanation on that one. 01. Another video, please. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Perfect. Okay, sorry guys. So we pick up the color first from the bottle, we clean one side, and we have a drop on another one. And you see this product that is ahead of the brush, and we push it closer to the cuticle until it forms this perfect line. So you see, I'm not doing this with the brush, I'm doing it with the product, and once you do it this way, it's so much easier. You see, so this is what we need to see. Then we take the brush again, and I'm pushing the product that is ahead of the brush again closer to the cuticle. So it's going to form this line. Okay, once you try to create this line with a brush only, it's going to be extremely hard because, you know, our hands, they're just shaking a little bit. But once you let the product do this cuticle line, it is going to be so much easier. So once you're happy with this line near the cuticle, then we can work on the sidewall, and we take a little amount from the same product that is near the cuticle and apply along the sidewall. Okay, and then we do the same from the other side. So you see this extra product we have in the corner. This is the product we're going to use to apply on the rest of the nail. Okay, this is how we cover another side. And now we only need to add a few strokes in the middle to even it out. Okay, so I cured it, and this is the second coat. So with the second coat, you do not need to do that much. It is going to be much faster because we already created this line near the cuticle. We only need to add the second one. And by the way, with this particular color, I don't even think we needed the second one, but you know, this is just an example to show you guys that it should be pretty quick. Oh my God, I just realized that when I was recording it, I thought it's taking me so long because I wanted to show all the details, but in reality, you guys see that it still was pretty quick, right? So in real life, of course, it's even faster. But you know, just because we learn, I'm slowing things down to explain to you. So whenever you apply the color, it doesn't matter 1, 2, or 3 or more coats, the application should not be super thick. And then I do this. I turn the client's finger around. If you see that the surface is a little imperfect, it's a little uneven. If you're using a medium consistency, this is going to work. So just turn it around and let the gravity help you a little bit. Now you see how it changed. There was this little bump in the middle, and now it's gone. Now we have this perfect surface. But this trick is going to work only if you have perfect base coat application before. Okay, and I think, yes, now I sealed it with a top coat. And you see how smooth this application is. So this is how we do it with the color application. That technique is way different from what I learned from the school. Lenny, thank you, Anna. Of course, yeah, guys, you're welcome. So I'm not saying that this is the only technique and like the only thing you should use, but if it will be helpful for you, please free to do this, because in my opinion, it's much easier to do this when you want to apply the color close to the cuticle. Well, since I used the plastic model, you see there's still a little gap because you cannot really go super close. It works a little different from actual skin. But I will also show you how it works on the real nails. And on real nails, yeah, sometimes it's a little harder because they may not be super symmetrical, like the tip underneath. But it all depends on how you did everything in between, like manicure. And yes, we cannot do this on a live person, but since this is a plastic hand, I just want to show you this line, how thin it is. You see from the side view. So once this nail will grow, you will see that this area near the cuticle, it's super thin. Okay, it's almost seamless. Oh my God, okay. So this is the top coat application. Honestly, I thought the top coat was already on. So I applied, you know, just a thin layer of the top coat, and this is what, in my opinion, a color application should look like. And this is what we see from the side views. I have issues with my sidewalls flooding. Ron is sharing. Okay, so if you're flooding the sidewalls, it's whether you're taking too much product, because if there's too much, it's going to flood something. maybe you're touching the sidewall a little bit. Maybe the base coat was already flooding the sidewall. Or another reason, not as obvious, is maybe you didn't clean the sidewalls when doing manicure. And when we have the sidewalls that are not very clean, the color will not know where to stop. I don't know if it makes sense. Okay, so what do I mean by not cleaning the sidewalls? Naturally, we have cuticles that are on the nail plate and along the sidewalls. If you do not clean them well, you're technically leaving a bridge from the sidewall to the nail plate. So when you apply the color on it, it is going to be on top of this bridge. But if it's all clean, the nail plate and the skin will have, they will not be connected. So it will be easier to apply it without flooding the sidewall. Can we build the structure with top coat? Yes, we can, but be careful when doing this, because most top coats, they contain a high percentage of photo initiators, and most top coats are going to burn like crazy if you try doing that. So you whether need to use a special top coats that you know are suitable for it, like there are builder or thicker consistency top coats. But in my opinion, it's just easier to do it with a base coat. And also, not all top coats are designed for this. I mean, if you build the structure, you will see the structure, and it's going to look great, but they may not give you that much strength as the base coat would. Don't you apply the color on the edge of the nail? Yeah, that's a very good question. So I used to do this, but what I noticed, it's in terms of adhesion, it's not really changing anything. So I do apply color on the edge if, let's say, a person has very thick nails and we're using black gel polish and it's just very visible. It just doesn't look nice without it. Then I do. But other than that, it's not really necessary. It's important to cap it with a top coat, but with the color, not as much. Okay, let's see another video, the second one, with the footage of the applying it on the clients. Okay, so this one may be not as detailed because I just recorded it as I was applying it on the clients, but I just want to show you that it's all the same. So I took this amount of product, then I push it closer to the cuticle, and then I just do a few strokes along the surface. So once again, you see this product ahead of the brush. So when I press the brush, it's like opening up in the shape of the cuticle. And then I push it closer, and then I apply it on one sidewall and then on the other. Okay, so this is how this technique would look in the real life. Okay, and then we do a few strokes to make sure that the rest of the surface is even. Okay, here's another one. So we take this amount of product and we push it ahead of the brush. So how close can you get to the cuticle? You can get super close, as it looks almost like this nail is actually growing with the color, only on one condition: if you did a very good clean manicure and nail prep. Because if you didn't, do not try to go that close. If you didn't, once you try to do this, it is going to flood immediately and you will never see this super crisp line near the cuticle. Why does the top coat separate over gel color? Maybe it's not compatible with this color that you're using. Okay, so let's see. You may have seen this because I think I showed it before the webinar. Yeah, so this one is on my nail. So we take some amount of product. So we push it closer, and you see it forms this beautiful line near the cuticle by itself just because of the shape of the brush. But the bristles of the brush, they're not exactly near my cuticle. There is some product in between. and this is what allows me to create it. But it's also important to not take too much product, because if you will just take too much product and push it right under the cuticle, yes, you may flood it. So you need to control it first, and also you need to do the clean manicure and prep and base coat application. By the way, right here, I think, yeah, I remove the sticky layer of the base coat, because usually when I do my nails, it's not as quick. It's taking me a while. Oh, and yes, this is trick with the paper clip hack. Maybe you've seen it already. When I do it on myself, I push them back. But I just wanted now to show you not this hack, but the color application again. So I'm taking a little amount of the product, and then again, I push it ahead of the brush, so it's going to form this perfect line. Because there are many other techniques, like you can use a detailer brush to get closer to the cuticle, and this is working. And this is suitable for beginners, but it is going to take a longer time. Just imagine doing all these lines with a detailed brush, like additional work. And I think, yeah, I will do this now along the sidewall. And it could be used, but most of the time, when the time is limited, the clients are always in a hurry. You have like 1 hour or 1 hour and a half to do this. It's better if you can use only brush from the bottle. I just showed you this view to show how thin the application is. However, I still build the structure. So this is only after applying the color. Yeah, I don't think we have the top coat on it. So this is how thin it can be. Let me guys know if you like this color application technique, if you enjoyed it, if you are going to try it now or within few next hours. Please feel free to tag me, to share it on social media, because I would like to see it. Okay, how do you push the product in front of a flat brush when the cuticle is very curved and the brush hits the sinuses before it can reach the middle of the curve? I don't know if it's making sense, Jessica. Yes, of course it does. So there are different kinds of brushes. Some of them are very square and some of them are more rounded. So with a square one and with a curved nail, yes, it's going to be a little challenging. So you can take the brush and hold it more like this, like not that as flat as I did, a little higher. It is going to help you, and move the brush more so this corner is not going to hit the skin right away. But also consider maybe using a different brush. Remember, for the gel polish, you can always take the brush from a different one. Maybe you have a top coat or a transparent gel polish that is finished. Just keep the brush that you like and you can use it. And yes, I usually have this issue sometimes when I'm working with very small nails and I have this giant brush that can hardly fit in there. So yeah, this is a challenge too. In this case, I do not hold it that flat as I showed you on the video. I hold it more to the side and I do not open it up that much. So yes, of course, we need to adjust to a different kinds of nails. It depends more on the angle. I think you should try detailer brush for that. Yes, that's a good trick too. So if actually some cuticles have a very, like when they're very narrow and very unusual shape, sometimes you just do your best with the brush and leave that corner empty if it's not working. And yes, you can always finish that with a detailer brush. I use my non-dominant hand to do my dominant hand. Talk about shaky. LOL, takes me longer to. Well, of course, guys. I was just showing you that with a dominant hand, but of course, with non-dominant hand, it's all the same, just 10 times more complicated. Okay, so we have base coats that have a different consistency. We have thin consistency, we have medium consistency, and we have thick consistency, builder gel or so-called rubber base coats. So when you should use builder gel? By the way, are you guys okay? Are you tired? Like, are you ready to have more information? Because, whoa, we have almost 300 people online, and we're talking for almost 2 hours now. But we have not much left. But according to the what I see in the chats, oh my God, it's like running. No, you guys are actually still active and listening. Okay, so when you should use a builder gel, so thicker consistency base coat. You need to use it with medium and long nails, okay, because we will not be able to build a structure for short nails. For uneven nails, because this is how you can fix that. For flat nails, because this is how you can build an apex for them, so they're going to last longer. For ski jump nails, to make them look like regular nails. For naturally thin and flexible nails. For brittle nails. And of course, for clients who want to grow long nails. So I recommend you to write it down or make a screenshot, because this is a very important information. Actually, it's also in part of my class. So when you should use a thicker consistency or builder gel base coats. So we have almost most types of nails in this list, except for short nails, right? Okay, so this is when we use a regular base coat. Regular meaning thin or medium consistency, okay, not builder base coat. For short nails and naturally thick and strong nails. Time flies when listening to you. All is well. More. Keep going. Keep it coming. Okay, thank you, guys. Yeah, just wanted to be sure, because, you know, when I talk about the topics like this, about nails, which is my passion, I'm like, I also can just not notice how the time flies. And then I'm like, uh-oh, it's 4 a.m. already. Okay. So how to do gel manicure that lasts 28 days or more. So this is actually, we had this slide already, but I just want to repeat it once again because it's so important. So first of all, we need to pick the product that works for the certain nail type. We need to choose the length and shape accordingly. We need to do a good job on manicure, on nail prep, apply the base coat and build the structure with it if needed. Then apply the color and do nail art if that's what clients want. And do the top coat application. Have been taking notes from the beginning. Everything is important. That's great. And I just want to remind you guys that we have the first giveaway going. To participate in that, all you need to do is to use your Instagram account, take a screenshot picture, anything related to this webinar, like a picture of your nails, post it on Instagram, tag me, Nailcou and Nails Pro Academy, and someone who did this repost during this webinar is going to win a kit of gel polishes. Okay, so flawless gel manicure. Gel overlay and structure is important, as we just talked, but clean manicure and cuticle work is important too, because it's a part of the nail prep. Okay, and more pictures. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about this new online class that I'm going to present today. It's brand new and it's like an updated version of it. Well, actually, I updated all lessons, so it's going to be completely new. And these are the nails from the students from the older version of the class. So it's different from another one because I added more information, because there are more products now. We have builder gels, we have different kinds of base coats. So basically everything we talked about today, how to do nail prep, how to choose products for different types of nails, that's all included in the class. So these are pictures of this from the students who did nails during the class, and you can see that it's actually possible to learn it online. When I started doing online classes back in 2012, honestly, I had little doubts, like, is it even possible to learn it online? But then I realized that, yes, you just need to give more detailed explanations, and it's absolutely doable. Actually, for some people, it's even better than live classes because you do not have to keep up with the pace of the group. You will have an educator working like with you individually. And for most people, it's actually an advantage. You can learn at any time. Like some people have this creative fluids going during the night, and that's totally fine. And okay, this is another beautiful work from the student. And this is Alinda, who you already heard about her in the chat. So she took almost all classes that we have at Nails Pro Academy, and now she's our educator. So she's the one who'll be working with you, working on your goals, on your mistakes. And if you've been a student of ours, you already know her. Okay, so how do online classes work? They are not the same as this webinar. It's not going to be live. Those are all pre-recorded videos, which means you will have access to them at any time. I mean, you want to watch it now, you want to watch it like 2 days later during the night, that's up to you. And also because pre-recorded videos, they have a higher quality of the picture. You can speed it up or you can slow it down if I'm talking too fast for you, and watch like all you need to know. We will have a hands-on videos, there are theory videos, so you can watch them all. And then, well, you can watch them anytime and anywhere, including by the pool. And then you need to submit assignments. So this is an example of how an educator can reply to you. Like if you have a certain problem, we can mark it on the picture or just explain it. Like this is another option of how Alinda replies to a student. So this is, the difference from just watching the videos. When people say like, well, you can learn everything on YouTube. And that's true. People share a lot on YouTube. I have over 800 videos, I believe, on YouTube. So there's definitely a lot to learn from. But like I said in this webinar, it's really hard to evaluate your own mistakes. So that's the biggest difference from the class and videos. First of all, in the class, you will have all this structured information from A to Z, like products, how to use them, how to choose them, and how to do the service step by step. And then you have an educator who will evaluate your work and tell you what exactly you need to fix and to change. So that's why, to me, like I like this analogy with the gym and a personal trainer. Like you have this personal trainer who's telling you, hey, like you need to do this slightly different. Like I've been going to the gym for years and it seems like I already know how to do all the exercises. But when I'm working with a coach, with a personal coach, it's still different. She still fixes, all these little angles that I'm not holding well, like you need to like push your back and do this, and I feel it differently. And I see the results, and like my muscles grow much faster when I do it with a trainer compared to when I do it myself, even though I consider myself a person who like knows something about it already. Because like I said, this other person can see your mistakes better from the side and just can give you some additional motivation too. So after you do this, after educator evaluate your work, sometimes you may need to fix something, and that's totally fine. That's a part of the education. Then you need to pass the exam. Don't worry, it's not too hard. You just need to fill in the quiz, and then you need to do a final like assignment, like a work like this. And don't worry, like you will see like all the explanation how to do it, how to take a picture, like everything will be explained. And then you will be issued a certificate. This is an example of acrylic of gel class certificate. We do not have the finished version because we've been editing it a lot for the new class certificate yet, but it will be something like this with my signature on it. And there was this question before this webinar, if you can get a certificate for the webinar. So no, unfortunately, we do not give certificates after this, and you also cannot have a certificate if you only enroll to the class. The only way to get a Nails Pro Academy certificate, which is worldwide recognizable, is to pass the class and to submit the final assignment, which will be accepted by the teacher. So it's all serious, guys. I'm very serious about the certificates that we give out. Okay, and then you will get a lifetime access to the students chat if you join any class with us, where we can chat about anything at all. And this is what's included in the class, Gel Manicure 2.0. So there is a product overview, natural nail shaping, nail prep, building structure with base coat and builder gel, like with different nail types, gel color application. I also included solid cream gel color application because this product is very popular now, and there are also some tricks on how to use it. Top coat application, and of course, troubleshooting. Okay, so lessons are available anytime. You can watch them from any device, create your own schedule, get feedback from the teacher, pass the quiz, connect with students in international chats, submit the final assignment, and receive a certificate. And of course, since today is the first day when I present this class, you will have a webinar specials. So you have two options. You can learn how to do flawless and long-lasting gel overlay, which is Gel Manicure Class 2.0 I just talked about, or you can become an e-file and gel manicure guru. What does it mean? Means that we have also a bundle offer today. So if you're watching from nailsproacademy.com, let me refresh the page and see, underneath the video you will see these buttons where you can join our classes. So e-file and gel manicure guru is the bundle offer, which includes e-file 101 class, which is a class that teaches you how to use your e-file. There are so many practical assignments. You will learn how to do product removal, filing and shaping, infills, how to remove the product without damaging the nail. So technically, you will feel confident when using e-file. And then we have electric file manicure, which is another big class that includes different types of skin and cuticles. You will learn how to do this dry manicure with different kinds of cuticles, such as oily or sticky or spreading cuticle or dry cuticles. Also with many practice assignments. And finally, Gel Manicure 2.0. And if you join this bundle, you will get 3 certificates for each class once you finish them. Do you talk about Gel X in the class? Oh, thank you. Yes, so Linda explained. Yes, there's a separate course for Gel X. We have a soft gel extensions course by Kisa Watson. Yes, gel extensions are not included in this class. Gel manicure is only about gel overlay. Okay, yes, there is a lesson about prep, but this class does not include manicure or dry manicure. Okay, this is included in electric file manicure class, but because working with the skin and natural nails and cuticles with the e-file is a very advanced technique. And if you are new to electric file, I strongly do not recommend to trying this like right away. It's important to feel confident when using e-file first. That's why we include this class as a bundle always. Actually, electric file manicure is not available separately. It always comes in addition to e-file 101 class. So e-file 101 class and e-file manicure, these 2 classes will start immediately if you join this bundle. Gel Manicure 2.0 will start on August 21st. And by the way, if you decide to join this class separately, it's also going to start at this date, which means you still have time to get ready for it, to get ready with the products, and so on. You will get 70 CEU credits. If you are in the US, you can use it for renewing your license if your state requires it. You will get 3 certificates for each class. You will get lifetime access to international students chat, lifetime access to this webinar replay, and 9 months access to all these classes. Is there a time limit to when I need to take the class if I get the bundle now? Brittany, yes, 9 months. But that's that's actually a lot. Usually we take the recommended time and add like another 3 months, because we know sometimes you may, if you go on vacation or do not feel well, or just need to take a break for certain reasons, then of course that's like included in it. So technically e-file 101, I think it's possible to pass it like in 3 or 4 weeks, in a month, but we know that not everyone can do assignments like twice a week. For some people, they can only do it on the weekends. That's why the time is extended. So yes, you will have a limited time, 9 months. For our classes, we always have a limited time. We only give an unlimited time to the chat or to webinars, because if you really want to learn it, if you really want to have a result, you need to do it in a certain time frame. Okay, because once you're learning, okay, today you learned a lot of new things, I hope, right? And if you're not going to use it within 3 days, most of this information will be gone. That's how our brain works. It's not about someone has a better memory or worse. That's just how we work. That's why it's important to not stretch out these classes too much. So all these skills and information that you just have, it will stay with you. Okay. What if I don't have a license? Does it still count? That's a good question. Well, I guess I'm not sure if you can do anything with the CU credits if you don't have a license. If you will get it within the next year, probably it can, but it doesn't count towards like a license that is not there. I'm not sure. Okay, so gel manicure 2.0. I hope I didn't confuse you too much with all this. So there's the bundle offer and one with gel manicure. In gel manicure class, there's manicure, like cuticle care, e-file is not included, okay? Only overlay. So if you guys decide to enjoy this class, please be aware that with gel overlay, it's super important to do the cuticle work and do manicure very well, okay? So with this class, you will get 20 CEU credits, 4 months access, which is a lot because this class is not that long, not as e-file classes. You will also get certificate, teacher feedback, and international students chat. Can't legally do nails. Well, you can, if you're taking this class, you can practice on yourself, you can practice on models. So you legally, I think you're allowed to learn and do nails for free as you're learning. If you're in the US and don't have a license, it does not count. Thank you. Yeah, so as far as I know, CEU, yes, it counts only for renewing. Yeah, unfortunately, state boards are very conservative and they do not allow, most states do not allow online classes to take these hours in towards the license, but we're working on it. So these classes, guys, we teach you the actual techniques that will allow you to do beautiful nails, to do long-lasting nails, to bring you more clients and stay with you. So this is what it's about, okay? License in the US is a completely different thing. And if you have one, you know what I'm talking about, that it has nothing to do with actual trending and new techniques, okay? We need to go to beauty school to get license, and we need to have license to legally be able to work in this country. But knowing how to do techniques that I showed you today, a long-last techniques, a beautiful techniques, it's a completely different thing. It's what you actually need in the real life to have new clients coming, to have your existing clients staying, okay? So unfortunately, we need to do both of this if you live in the US. What products are featured in 2.0, please? Gel manicure, so we will learn how to do gel polish overlay. I will also show little bonus lessons with hard gel, and with polygel, we need to use it to fix a broken corner. So technically only soft gel overlay, but a little bit of hard gel too as an overlay. Okay, so gel manicure, only gel on top of natural nails. And, well, of course, all the products that we need around them, such as prep products like the hydrator, primer, and so on, regular gel polish, builder gel polish, and solid cream gel polish. You will learn how to work with all that. I have definitely learned so much. This webinar has been really helpful. Oh, thank you. Oh, actually, it's not finished yet. Well, almost. Okay, so you have two options: Gel Manicure 2.0 and bundle courses, eFile 101, eFile Manicure, and Gel Manicure 2.0. You can see these offers right under the video at nailsproacademy.com. If you're watching through YouTube, then you can quickly tune in there by following the link in the description box that we have. And are you guys ready for the best part? So the first students who joins this bundle offer, which includes eFile 101, Electric File Manicure, and Gel Manicure 2.0, wins electric nail file. So we decided to encourage the students, and since you will need an e-file to do these classes, obviously, we decided to do this another giveaway. So the first person who joins these bundles, congratulations, because this is the e-file that you will get, but only the bundle offer, okay? Only the one that includes eFile 101, Electric File Manicure, and Gel Manicure 2.0. You will only need to send us your address so we can send it to you. Okay, so under the video you can see these options with the bundle courses. So the offer that includes 3 classes is called bundle courses. You just need to click on this magenta colored button, and then we have Gel Manicure 2.0. So you can see the regular classes, the regular price for these classes, but now we have a great discounts only on this webinar. And this discount will be available for a limited time, for a few days only. So if you've been thinking of joining these classes, you can do it later, but the price is going to come back to regular. Okay, so the first person who buys the bundle will get a nail drill. And this is how you can join. If you decide to join Gel Manicure 2.0, that's okay. And for Gel Manicure, the next 3 purchases, and it doesn't matter if you join the bundle or Gel Manicure, either one, you will get a solid cream gel polish kit by Model 1s, because yeah, this is actually included in this class too, and I think you will need it. And there's the brush included and 21 colors. So congratulations to the first 4 students. Does either class teach nail shaping? Yes. Oh, I think I did not mention it, right? Yes, nail shaping is of course included, because this is also important part of prepping the nail, the square and element, like the most typical shapes for the natural nails. Yes. The actual brands, please. I like to work with the feature products of the class. Oh, Sandra. Okay, so I'm going to use a different brands on each lesson. So it's not like, okay, we're using Madame Glam today, this is the only one I use. Because in real life, I use many brands too. So I will show you a different one, and it's up to you which one you decide to use. You can choose the same as I use, if that's what you prefer. I only ask you guys to use a professional brands, okay? Like the ones that at least you can see the ingredients, purchase from their official websites. Because I know that we are all from different countries and sometimes it's hard to find a certain brand. I will give you a recommended names of the brands that I use, and you can choose like among them if you wish. But if you decide to choose another one, that's totally fine too, as well as this is professional brand. Okay, I don't see the classes. Okay, can we ask Lara, Natalie, someone to send the link into the chat for the like purchase link maybe, because yeah, if someone cannot find it. Alrighty, so okay, this is the quick instructions on how to do the purchase. You just click on purchase, then you go add to the cart. Well, it's pretty simple. Then you click on the checkout, and then you fill in your details. Do not forget, guys, please to correctly enter your email, because this is where you will get the access to the classes, and this is how we mostly are going to communicate with you. Then you click continue payment and so on. Okay. So this is Q&A time, but before we go there, I would like to do a giveaway for a person who's going to win a kit of gel polishes. So someone will get an e-file, the first student who joins the bundle. Then we have 3 people who join either classes, like the next 3. And also we have 1 person who shared a story on Instagram today. So I'm also having a hard time finding the bundle. Okay, hold on, guys. I will quickly ask to send this to on YouTube as well. Send you the link. Hold on. And meanwhile, if you haven't participated in the Instagram giveaway for gel polishes, you can do it right now as I quickly search for the information. All you need to do is to take a picture or screenshot anything about this webinar, tag me, Nailcou and Nails Pro Academy, and post it on your Instagram. And if you tagged us, I will see it right now and randomly pick the winner. Okay. So I hope that we will have. Let me quickly check if I have internet connection, because I disconnected. I was worried that, someone will call me during the webinar. And after that, we are going to do a Q&A. Okay, it looks like it's working. Okay, so I'm going to a section. Okay, we have, yes, I do see mention. So since this is just a random giveaway, I'm going to randomly pick the winner. So, okay, something's wrong with my control. Can we please show the table now, so everyone can see the table, like my phone, please? Normally I have a this control here, but I don't know, today it decided not to work. Oh, okay, I see new mentions coming. Can we please turn? Oh my goodness, hold on, guys, sorry about that. Thank you for class, of course. So who is going to win the repost giveaway? Hey, can we please do the table view now? Okay, thank you. Okay, we have new mentions coming. Okay, so we see it now. So that it would be fair. Ooh, oh my God, it's really hard to stop now and you not. Okay, so I'm just going to randomly click on them and stop as I talk to you. Oh, okay, that's actually not the repost of my webinar, so that's one not going to count. So I will just click on one and see if you have tags, if you tagged me and Nails Pro Academy, and if you have added some text. Okay, so let's quickly. I'm not. I'm looking straight ahead. Oh my God. Okay. That was a bad idea, but I just want, so it all be fair. Okay, back and forth and okay, this is not the repost of my webinar. This is a repost of my reels. So that one is not going to count, and let's just pick the next one so it will be fair. Okay, this is the repost, but it doesn't include any text. So we need to be fair. Okay, this one also does not. Okay, This is how to do gel. No, also only tags. Okay, this is the one. We have, oh, we don't have a tag of Nailcou and Nails Pro Academy. Okay, guys, so let's start over. I will okay, redo it. So we need to have a tag of Nailcou, Nails Pro Academy, and some text. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oops. Okay, once again, not the repost of the webinar. Maybe next one. Yes. Okay, here we have Nailcou, Nails Pro Academy, and the text. All right, so this repost has followed all the guidelines, and the winner is, let me take a screenshot so I will not lose it. GGDAXC. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to read this name. So this is the profile of the winner. Congratulations. And I will also take a screenshot so I will not lose it. Let me quickly check. Yes, everything is correct. Watching a webinar today about how to make gel manicure last longer. Very informative. Okay, congratulations, guys, and thank you for all of your reposts. I am going to read them after that because, you know, I definitely would love that. Oh, thank you, Elinda, for the link in the chat. And let's do a Q&A if you still have any questions and energy to spend some more time with me. So it's been 2 hours to 25 minutes. So as I promised you, almost 2.5 hours. You know, I always plan to do 2 hours, but it always gets a little longer because, you know, it's just hard to stop when you're talking about what you're passionate about. So if you were thinking of joining these classes, I recommend you to use the offers because the price will be reduced for a limited time. And I am ready to read your questions. When do I get to be your model? Well, anytime when we will be in the same area. When I need new models, I sometimes post it on YouTube too. And actually, this is how I met some of my followers. Okay, let me see. There was actually a question. What dehydrator and primer do you recommend? There are actually so many good ones. I like dehydrator and non-acid primer by NSI, by Model Ones, Gelish. I've been using that a lot. IBD. Actually, dehydrators, they're good in most of the brands because it's pretty much the same. With primers, yeah, it's slightly different. They have a different consistency. Sometimes they're thicker, sometimes they're thinner, and they work also slightly different. You are the only one I would allow to touch my nails. Oh, thank you. What are the first steps on how to become a nail tech? Oh, well, if you are in the US, then you will need a license, and for that you will need to go to beauty school and pass the exam on a state board. But actually, like in the real life, what is becoming a nail technician? A person who knows how to do a nail services, how to provide a nail services. So I would say definitely take a good education. It's not about buying products first, because if you just open Amazon and start purchasing the products, you will not even know which ones do you need. So I strongly recommend you to learn first, to take a class, because like even in my classes, I always explain how products work differently. And I'm talking not only about brand names, but the product itself. Because when you're a beginner, you don't really need that much product. So take the class first, then start buying only the products that you need, then start practicing on yourself, on your friends, on your relatives, and then start attracting your first clients. And to do that, it's easier to do it through social media. So I would say these are the first steps to become a nail technician. How about Victoria Vin? Do you know this brand? Sounds familiar, but no, I don't think I've ever tried it. So no, sorry. There are so many brands now, it's impossible to know all of them. Unfortunately, in Estonia, you do not need a license. It's optional to attend the exam. Well, actually, as I figured, in all countries except for the US, you don't really need a license. There is a certain thing as it's called insurance or um, like a paper that allows you to legally work in this country, which is different. But the license to do manicure, I don't think any other country really requires it. I mean, some salons can ask you for a certificate, but it's not the same as license. So I don't know. I mean, is it a good or bad thing? It's even with license, like having license. From what I know, like in most states, you just need to show that you know a theory from this Milady, like nail technician book that was written many years ago. Even though it's updating, it still includes, information about safety, about the products, chemicals, which is important. And most of the times, you need to show your skills on the plastic hand. So let's be real. It doesn't have to do anything with the modern salon techniques that our clients will be asking you to, because our clients will just open Instagram and tell you, hey, I want this. And to know that, you need to know how to work with the new trendy techniques, right? How is Beetle's brand? Oh, I really like their gel polishes. The color coverage is great. They're really small, well, at least in the kit that I have, but I really like the colors. I mean, the consistency, the coverage is good, so I definitely can recommend this. What do you think about brand Indigo? Yeah, I heard about it a lot, but I haven't tried it yet. Like, I love their artworks. They do a really good job with this long and art nails, but I never had a chance to try it. I believe it's like a European brand. Thank you so much, Anastasia, for offering this free webinar. Of course, you're welcome. Using thin layer of rubber base when building structure with regular base, is it okay? Yes, you can use a thin layer of base and then build the structure with a regular one. Absolutely. In Germany, anyone can become a nail tech without a test. Nothing, not good. Well, I mean, in Russia, anyone can become a nail tech just by watching YouTube, and that's in many countries. So that's why you see, guys, it's up to you. You don't need some kind of special license, but it's still up to you what kind of nail tech you want to be, right? First of all, it's important to have all this knowledge to protect yourself, because we do not want allergic reactions or any problems with us, right? So we need to know that. Second, we want to provide a good service for our clients so they will come back. So I think if you put some effort into education, if you invest time in your education, in the good products, and you will continue learning, that's also important, because even if you know all these latest techniques today, they may not work like 5 years from now. Like, I'm always learning. I have over 100 certificates only from the nail industry. So if you have that, you will always have clients. And I mean, who cares about license? I mean, I worked in Russia when I started, and we also do not have such thing as license. However, I had a certificate, like the one I got from beauty school. And no, I don't hardly remember any of my clients ever asking about them. At some point, I had them on my wall so they could see it, but no one really cared about them. They just want to see what I do, if the nails are lasting long, and that's it. So clients mostly care about your work. From what I've seen, Beatles is a great affordable brand. Interested to hear your opinion, though. Oh, I think I mentioned it. Yeah, I like Beatles gel polishes as well. I did a review for the collection. How important it is to cap the free edge? Well, honestly, I think it's overrated. It was considered very important, but I did so many tests without, like, not doing this, as well as you do the nail prep well, and you clean the nail with dehydrator underneath, and you do a very thin application. Even if you do not cap it, nothing's really gonna happen. So I do this capping with a top coat sometimes, with a color and base coat rarely. So you can do it and you cannot do this. But the problem with this was not that many nail technicians know how to do it properly. And most times I've seen this, they're doing this with such a extreme amount of product, so it changes the shape. The shape doesn't look as square anymore. Now it looks more rounded. Okay, so even if you cap, please use like a tiny amount on the brush without adding extra product. So technically I can take your classes and get certificates and find my clients. Exactly. Why not? Yes, we had many people like that who started from zero. They took nail sculpting for beginners class and then started doing this. But I mean, like, again, in your country, just check if you do not need a license. But like I said, as far as I know, it's only in the US. Congratulations, receive a set from the company model once, Christina Bell. Oh, congrats. So this is, we have another student joining. And if it is a set from model ones, that means that already a second or a third student. Awesome. So thank you guys so much, for your trust in joining. I can assure you, you will love these classes. Most students, I think about 75%, stay for another new classes, stay with us, and you will stay in touch with us for sure, because you will be in the students chat. And like I said, I just created something I wanted so bad for myself when I started, because I desperately wanted this communication with someone who has the same passion as me, access to theory, to practice that I can watch over again and analyze, repeat, and think of what could be wrong, communicate with an educator. Like, I desperately needed this when I started, but I didn't have it. So I decided to create it so the people worldwide, whoever wants to join it, can do it. You're the only one of my favorite online nail educator that explains it very well. I always get to learn something new from you. Claude, thank you so much. I'm really glad that you guys... I have tried to purchase Gel 2.0. It's not working. Okay, guys, so if something is technically not working, please feel free to contact us at info@nailsproacademy.com, or if you're an existing student, then you also know how to do it through the website, or send us an email. We will definitely work it out. Okay, congratulations. Yes, a nail drill, Anna McDonald. Oh, okay, we have a winner for the nail drill. Congrats, Anna. And we have another gel polish set from Model Ones, Betsy Brinsky. Congrats, new students. I am super excited, like I said, because I remember this feeling when I started. Like this, excitement, and sometimes, when I was just starting to learn nails, and, I can totally relate. So you guys will love this journey. How much time should I take for gel extensions nails? Ooh, that's a hard question. Well, recommended time is 2 hours, but if you're a beginner, then it's definitely going to take longer, 3 or 4. Like 1.5, 2 hours is a good time. Less than that is considered fast. What is the best nail drill brand you recommend? Well, it's really hard to pick one because there are many good ones. Like the recent ones that I tried, Melody, Suzy, Kiara Sky. I also really like Korean brands like Seishin and Sangyang. They have marathon and strong nail drills. So I don't really have just one favorite. And also these brands, like, they're available in different countries. So I mean, let's say Kiara Sky is mostly popular in the US, while in Europe, I know that Korean brands are very big. Congratulations to all the winners. Yes, okay, guys, so let's wrap it up. I will answer to 2 last questions. I love all your webinars. You and your fellow educators are very informative. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paula. I need one before the course. Oh, the nail drill, Mary. Yes, we actually in the course we're also talking about e-files, and I believe we have like an article on our website nailsproacademy.com, about how to choose an e-file. If you cannot find this, please also contact us. We will help you and send you the link. And yes, if you're just getting ready for the class, but you're not sure which one you should pick, feel free. Oh, and I almost forgot, guys, if you go to any of my YouTube videos and find like the information in the description, there is the link to the storefront on Amazon, and I have a folder there. It's called e-file 101, and I collected some e-files and supplies for e-files that I recommend. Okay, so it's actually Amazon/shop/Nailcou, but you can also find it on under my YouTube videos. How many months can we keep up or use our UV lamps? UV, well, if it's UV, then it's usually around 6 months that you can replace them. But if you're talking about LED lamps, then it depends. Usually they last pretty long, like a year and a half. My Say Yes e-file is awesome, quieter than Melody Susie. So, oh, I don't even know this brand. My last one was Strong 210, and now I use Marathon Champion M3. I like both. Oh yeah, these are both a good one, so I can totally recommend this too. Thanks Emil and Anna. I have already appreciated this webinar. This information is gold chef kiss. I sure hope there will be more of these online webinars. Unfortunately, can afford classes. Of course, Melissa, thank you. Yes, and I understand that not everyone can join my classes now. That's totally fine, and I really, I'm glad that you learned something from this webinar too. What about lavender? Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, Lavinda, the e-file. Yeah, actually, that was a really good one. The one with the rhinestones. Because at first I thought, well, can e-file with the rhinestones really be that good? But it was surprisingly strong. So yeah, that's another one I can recommend to you. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for your motivation, for all your questions. It's been 2 hours, 40 minutes. Thank you for your patience. And while we still have over almost 200 people here, thank you so much for it. I hope you have a great day or a great evening if you are in Europe, just like me. And if you are in the class, I will see you there soon. And if you're not, I will also see you somewhere on the social media. Thank you for joining. And remember, never stop learning. See you.